Hi soulmates, welcome to class. So we're going to be drafting a half scale pattern because the lower part is going to be a flay, and for us to achieve that, from shoulder we're going to mark our waistline. These are the fabric to be used anyway. So from shoulder we're going to be marking our waistline, and after marking the waistline we'll mark our bust line. Basically what we're trying to do is to get our basic measurement or basic draft. Then we have the neckline of choice, and also I want to repeat the same measurements on this other side so that it will be easy for us to mark it across. Shoulder to waistline, shoulder to bust line. Then the neck depth is as you desire. 3 by 3 for an adult is okay. 3 by 3 for an adult is okay, except you want something more different on it. You can do 3.5 by 3.5 if you don't want it to be too close to your neckline. So we drop the shoulder down by 1.5 inches for a normal adult, 1.5 inches. Okay, and then we also connect to the depth of the neckline this way. Very simple to do. Now we are going to take our normal measurements. At this point we want to bring down the shoulder line like so. Okay, just the normal things we do when drafting a basic pattern. We will divide our bust by 4 and mark. And the next thing we're going to do is to connect our armhole curve to it. We'll go in by half an inch at the midpoint of the armhole and connect it to our measurement of bust divide by 4. Okay, now we're going to take other measurements because the lower part is okay. We're going to take our bust span measurements and nipple to nipple measurements, and this is what we're going to be marking. We divide the bust span measurements by 2 and rule this way. Okay, we'll take half an inch on both sides, half an inch on both sides, and connect it to the bust line. All right, half an inch on both sides for a normal um basic bodice, half an inch on both sides. If you need it to be a bit fitted, we can take 0.75 on both sides. All right, now we mark our waist divide by 4 and add back the 1 inch that we took as the dart, and then we're connecting to our bust line. So once that is done, we move over to the next phase, and that is our bust dart. Bust dart is gotten from the difference between the back half length and the front half length. So whatever measurement you have there, that is what you're going to be marking. In my own case, I use 1.2 inches. All right, so we'll cut it this way. Now we'll move over and draft the back basic bodice. One unique thing about the back is to deepen the waistline so that the zipper does not bulge, and that is one important thing that everyone needs to do at the back of their basic bodice. Deepen the waistline so that the zipper does not bulge out. So it's time for the alteration, and for the front pattern I'm going to be closing the waist dart like so. I'm going to tape it down and close it. Okay, so once you do it this way, we're now going to mark out the curve that we want. I think this curve was a bit in, so you can decide for yourself how you want the curve to look like. Then from the shoulder line, decide where it's going to stop this way, and then use your pencil to connect it. Use your pencil or your marker to connect the lines. So first of all, I'm going to use the pencil to curve it this way, after which I will use my marker to highlight it. Like I said before, this marking may be too close to the armhole area, so you can decide to bring it out a bit, but definitely not on the bust point. line, not on the dart line. Okay, you can move from the dart line by 1.5 inches with your basic bodice. So we're going to now close this dart so that the lines will align properly. I'll close this dart. Now this method of manipulating this dart is quite okay when the fabric is stretchy. If the fabric is not stretchy, it might give you some issues. Okay, it might shorten the measurements that you already have. But once your fabric, according to this design that we have here, the fabric is a bit stretchy, or is a stretchy fabric, so there will be no issues. It will stretch out and no one will have issues with the dart. So place the dart this way, try to flatten it and use it to cut on our fabric, because the fabric is a bit stretchy and the dart is not much, there's not too much bulge. Okay, so keep it aside and also do the same thing for the back. Now for the back, we're not going to just close the dart, we are going to minus the dart. Okay, so after taking our curve this way, we're going to mark the same measurements that we use for the front. That is what we are marking for the back, so that it aligns properly. All right, now for the darts, we don't want to sew the darts, right? So all I'm going to do is to minus it. I'll put half of it at this side and cut it out, and then put the remaining half at the zipper area and cut it out. So we'll not be having that at the back. But if you wish, you can still sew the dart and nothing is wrong with it. Okay, so this is just how I choose to do this. All right, so you too can try doing the same thing and everything is going to be fine. Okay, so once this is done, it's to cut it out, and we'll cut out the design as well, and we'll proceed to sewing. Okay, by the time you finish this zipper area removing, you're not going to have any bulge at the back of your dress. So all we are going to do now is to cut, and don't forget to label after cutting so that you not mix it up. Label the parts that will have white fabric, the parts that will have red fabric, the CB area, the zipper side, and all of that. Make sure you label in a way that you're going to remember and put put it down accurately. Okay, so I'm explaining ahead of time. Once this is done, we're going to cut on our fabric, adding our seam allowance and zipper allowance. Now for the lower part, we're going to make a 360-degree peplum for the gown. 360-degree flay. If you wanted to add more, you can still add more. Okay, so here is the length of the skirt, and then we'll make a triangular this way. Here, because the fabric is quite small, I'm using making a 180-degree, but whereby you have much fabric, 360-degree for the flay, so that it flays out much. And besides, this is a small a miniature, so it's not going to flay as much as possible. And believing we all know how to cut a flay. Okay, so there is the round waist measurement that we are marking, which is divided by 4, because this fabric is divided by 4. So I'll just take from there, take the length of the skirt, right, the length of the flay, and I'll mark it out this way, and then I'm going to cut it. And after joining the upper part, we are going to join this part to it and then fix our zipper at the back. Remember, this is an illustration that teaches how to go about this design. Okay, so once this is done, we are good to go. All you have to do next is to fix your sleeve. It's a basic sleeve, no fancy on it. All right, and everything will be fine. Okay, So if you've watched up to this part, please kindly subscribe to this channel and continue watching to the end. We're almost there. So once all of this is done, we are now going to open it up. We're not going to fix it the way it is. We're going to open it up and then go to the sewing machine and fix it. And once the fixing is done, we'll see on the mannequin how it looks and how it fits. The fixing, you just have to be careful so that there's no bulge, there's no serious thing to do about it. Use your pin and hold it so that it does not misbehave. All right, be careful, pin it down before sewing and you're good to go. So thanks for watching up to this point. See you in the next class. Now this is the outcome of what we have. Make a bow and put by the side, nothing again. Make a bow and put by the side. I believe we know how to make a bow tie and extend the length more and put it by the side. So that's all that is required for this particular design. If you have any question, any suggestion, feel free to comment in the comment section.